Hi, I'm Kendra from CGW Magazine. I'm here with Jay Cooper, VFX supervisor from the creator. He's from ILM, and he's here to tell us about the upcoming film. So thank you so much for being here today, Jay.
My pleasure.
So if you could tell us a little bit about working with Gareth Edwards.
Oh, man. It's a big question. Let's see, what should we start with? It's a huge, well, I can talk a little bit about our movie and sort of the scale and scope of it. It's a huge sci-fi opus with massive environments and robots and half robots, well, augmented humans, I guess is the best way to put it. At least that's what they look like. It's coming out, and we've been working on it for, I guess, a couple of years now. It's really exciting. Yeah, that doesn't, I don't know if that tells you enough about the movie. Probably tells you a little bit about at least the germ of the idea.
Exactly. So I know there's a lot of visual effects involved.
There are
huge.
A lot. There's about 1,600 visual effects shots.
Wow.
And ILM handled, I think, roughly over half, as well as designing most of the assets, the robots and the simulants, and a lot of the vehicles, those sorts of things.
Can you tell us about the process of creating the simulants?
Sure. So, well, a lot of it started with obviously with the idea from Gareth, and then James Klein, a production designer, started with some initial art. And then working with James and Gareth, we did multiple versions along the way. And it was sort of an evolving task. You know, one of the things that Gareth felt was really important is he wanted to create a character that you could bond with. So we didn't want to do too much in terms of manipulating the face. But we also wanted to make it was sort of impactful for the audience. So we did a lot of work on sort of how large the mechanical forms are and how they extend through the body, those sorts of things. And I think a couple of times we went back a couple of steps to go forward. It's like any other process. You know, Gareth has he wants to be involved heavily in the design. Mm-hmm. And so just as a matter of process, we would show him something, we do sketches on top of it, we do interactive sessions with our modelers in San Francisco and in London, and bring it up in that way.
And what did you need on the technology side of things, like in terms of systems to help support the visual effects work?
Oh, so I don't know if I'm educated enough to speak to sort of the technical, like the computational requirements, but at sort of at the artist level, I would say that we did a lot of work in sort of our layout teams and our lighting teams, and our simulation teams to integrate and to build these a number of tools around sort of making these larger visual effects. There's a large space station in the third act of the movie, which I think we show briefly in the trailer. So there's one of these huge assets takes weeks of modeling, and they take really complicated setups where we instance little bits of detail along it, and we build these very complicated systems, or at least people on our team build these very complicated systems to build these massive space station frameworks. That's at the sort of the large size. At the small size, we've a lot of work that goes into building the models for our robots, and a lot of modeling work and texturing work with our texture supervisors, that sort of thing.
That's excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.
My pleasure.
Cannot wait to see the film when it comes out in September.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, it'll be a great show.
Absolutely. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.